If Michael Allman's evocative singing was the only attraction on his album Hard Labour Creek, it would still be worth hearing. But there is a lot more going on than that with some of the most gifted musicians in Georgia. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about your album Hard Labour Creek. A shame it's not in person, but I know you've been touring a lot. I know you've been touring a lot lately. So where actually is your home base?
My home base is West Palm Beach, Florida. I play a lot all over in this area, and I have several places that I stay and go, and I do a lot of traveling. Home base is a suitcase, honestly.
Oh, okay. Well, for some reason, I thought you were in Georgia or Atlanta. How does that fit in?
My mom is in Conyers, Georgia, and when I made the album, I was living in Atlanta. My business, All Skin Music, that produced and handles the album for me, is out of Atlanta. Which I own it, but I don't run it.
Okay, so that's what.
But all my business and everything is out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Now let's talk about the album title first. When was the album released, and what's the title? Where did the title come from?
We finished it. I believe we're at 2 years now. Me and exact dates aren't real well, but the Hard Labour Creek title, it is one of the older parks in Georgia. It's an old horse park. You can take your horses and ride around. It's just a beautiful place. It's serene. It's quiet. It's not overrun by anything, and it's just a lovely place to go hang out and be either by yourself or with a loved one or with just a few friends or camping. It's just a wonderful place. I would go there a lot. I wrote 2 of the songs in there hanging out. It's just a place, and Hard Labour Creek is the name of the park.
So you are a bit of an animal lover.
I am. I love animals. I've had them in my life, just about all of my life, one form or another. Dog, pigs. I've had all kind of weird stuff.
Fantastic. I love it. I'm an animal lover myself. You did a bit of touring in January, so you went out of your home state in January. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, I was living in Cleveland for a pretty good bit of time there during a relationship that is no longer. But I've toured around a bit. I'm doing a lot of stuff right this minute with Allman Brothers tribute bands because we're having a little economy crunch going on around here, and in order to not have to tote a whole band around with me, I can find good bands in a generalized location and then do a lot of shows around that, which is what brought me to West Palm Beach. I used to live here again, like 25 years ago I lived here. So, yeah.
Do you want to talk about some of the musicians on the album, though, because that was a great lineup?
It was, it's a lot of different folks, really. Ike Stubblefield played Hammond and produced and done a lot of stuff for me on it. Rico Scott, the original Derek Trucks band, he put all percussion on it, not the drums, but just all the percussion sounds. There's so many, each song in itself has a different group of people, a different set of people, and not even always a whole different set. Just different folks. Tony Tyler played different instruments in different places. It was just it was 3 years worth of work that we brought friends from life in to help us out, and everybody just did a wonderful job. And there's just so many, I don't even know where to begin.
Okay. Well, it certainly is. It's a fantastic result, and that's the main thing, that's for sure.
Aw, making me blush.
I've been asked to ask you about your working with the great Jack Pearson.
Not a whole lot is definite at this time. We had that was technically a benefit for Frankie Toller, one of the part-time members of the Allman Brothers, and I sang up the video and stuff that came from that. It is more or less all of us getting together to help another friend. We don't really have a whole lot of plans to do much work as of yet, although we did mention it.
Right, okay. Now, you're a songwriter yourself, and you wrote 4 of the songs on the album, Running Alone Again, It Ain't Me, and Circus Full of Clowns. What was the 4th one?
Mule Name Whiskey.
I love Mule Name Whiskey. It's just such a fun song.
Mule Name Whiskey.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Colonel Bruce Hampton does the little intro ahead of the Mule Name Whiskey intro. Colonel Bruce Hampton retired from the Hampton Grease Band from back in the day. He's been around forever. He's an awesome man. Mule Name Whiskey. That's the one that I wrote. That was the funnest song I ever wrote in my life.
Well, I love it. I love it.
I left town on a mule named Whiskey. Couldn't even kill
It's said that you address universal topics like love and loss in a way that any listener can relate to in your song. So what do you got to say to that?
Wow. I'm honored, but that is where I write, and that is all of my songs are from my life experiences. I've been through 3 wonderful, rough, double-edged swords relationships that, are tough to be through. I've been through cancer. I've been through, poverty. I've been through, I had my little bout with drugs. I've had, drinking issues. I've been through everything. I've been through some form or another. Somebody can relate to one of the things I've been through, and they're all mentioned in my songs one way or another.
So how does the Poor Elijah Foundation fit into the scheme of things?
Well, that's a great story, and it's kind of long. It's Bonnie Bramlett and Delaney Bramlett started this a long time ago, and my manager and my best friend and my partner in my business, Tom Skinner, really was single-handedly in creating this, the beginning of that. We joined in on the fight to get them into the Hall of Fame, and then we realized what else they were doing, so we began helping. And I've started a second album called Friends of Poor Elijah. And and I'm getting different artists all over America to join in and help me out, play and make and redo Delaney's song. And then that album itself all proceeds will go towards their charity, which help musicians with learning stuff. It's a way to get musicians smarter than we have been, because we get walked on, we lose things because we don't know we're supposed to do this and supposed to do that. It's in a sense a school for people that can't go to school and figure this stuff out at any age as well. I mean, they help in all ranges of just helping musicians.
Yeah, it's fabulous, yeah. And the Poor Elijah Foundation, I couldn't help but notice the name connection there. Perhaps it's no connection at all, but of course, one of your stepbrothers, it would be, wouldn't it, is Elijah Blue Allman.
Yes, Elijah Blue. Yes, Cher's son, my half-brother, Elijah.
Yes.
But that has nothing to do. One has nothing to do with the other.
Right. It's just
Elijah was. None of us were around when that song was written.
Right. So it's.
Well, I barely was, actually.
Yeah, so it's quite a coincidence.
Yeah, no. It is kind of an interesting coincidence.
Now, being from a famous family, or at least a famous dad in your case, can be both a blessing and a curse sometimes. How has it been for you?
Exactly that. It is. I wouldn't trade it for the world. People always ask what it's like to be the son of a famous rock star. I always ask them back, what's it like not, how is it, half the time I would love to be a simple man, nice, happy family, nice job, white picket fence. But there's a burn in my heart because of what I've lived that I just can't quit. I just can't not do this. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard, and it's really, really wonderful.
As you say, a double-edged sword.
Yes, double-edged sword.
And Greg's memoirs of his life in music are scheduled to be published by William Morrow, 2012, I understand.
I don't know much about when his business is pretty much his business. I don't know a lot about when he releases things and does stuff like that. Yeah, I don't speak much for Papa.
No, okay. All right. Well, maybe I've told you something you don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. You're 45, is it? You'll be 45 this year? Or?
I am 45.
Yeah.
I will be 46 this year.
Right, okay. So at 45 years of age,
Yeah.
It seems you've had a somewhat rough journey over the years with some scars to prove it, I gather. Your childhood and your mum. Tell us about your mum.
My mom, in 1965, was going to high school in Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach area. As well, my father was. He was playing in a surfer band that played at the go-go clubs around, which, back then go-go girls had more clothes on than... so they're playing... they went to different schools together, is the way they like to put it. They were just on opposite sides of town. They went to different schools, but they were always at the same place. They dated for about 8 or 9 months. They were never married, and then the Allman brothers took off shortly thereafter. A few years later, she developed breast cancer and was at a point of not sure whether she was going to make it or not. So she called him and asked if I could come live with him, and I did. So at the age 17, I went to live with my father, which was really the beginning of any type of relationship at all, which made for the first 17 years to be a little awkward with anybody grows up without a father, you feel a little empty inside no matter what you do. But we worked on it, got it a little closer, fixed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mom's been through a lot.
Yeah. So she's.
Sorry, I
get emotional. That's good.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's interesting. It's a long, complicated process. How I got to 45. I'm very grateful I did.
Yes.
And, now things are really, really taking off. I finally got, hunkered down, got the album done, and I'm out peddling it, I guess.
So in the first 17 years of your life, were you a happy child?
Well, not really. I don't know. I guess I was just a loner. Mm-hmm. I didn't really seem to mind it, and looking back, I don't feel like I was not happy, but I'm sure I could have been happy.
Your dad has endured ill health over the years, including being diagnosed with Hep C in 2007, and he attributes that to the infection from extensive tattooing. But I see that you're not opposed to the odd tattoo yourself.
I am not. I have one particular tattoo artist I use, the sweet Erica Lynn in Cocoa Beach, artistic bodywork. Oh, they're fabulous. I know they keep everything spot on clean. I know you just got to make sure you know where you're going and what you're doing, and then they know what they're doing. But the rules and regulations for tattoos have changed drastically since those days. People were doing, they'd be one guy, 4 or 5 people tattoo, and they didn't even swap needles back then. They didn't realize what could happen.
Scary stuff. Yeah, scary stuff. We've pretty much covered everything, Michael, so I really appreciate you talking to me, and it's been a delight.
No problem.
And
sorry, I'm a little herky-jerky. I get a little nervous.
How can folks get hold of your CD anyway?
It's on iTunes. It is on michaelallmanband.com. It is on Amazon.com. Pretty much anywhere electronically that you can buy music, it's on, and michaelallmanband.com.
Fabulous.